Baker, and today's video is the next video in the series Build with the Bakers. I am standing inside our new home, and today we are checking out all the updates that have been done since last week. There's trim in, flooring, there's more cabinets in, and I'm going to be discussing my downstairs design decisions. So let's get started. Okay, so I am standing inside the living room right now, and I was so excited to walk in and see some big changes. So one of the first things I noticed was that the flooring was in, and I am so excited about that. I went with a light LVT flooring, and this is going to be consistent throughout the entire first floor. And the other thing that was in was the window moldings. So you can see on the windows, we went with a 1/2 inch overhang on each side on the top. That's to give it more of the craftsman look that we are going for. And then we have a thicker molding that we went with to give it kind of more of that farmhouse look. And the apron here on the windowsill will be painted white. So this will all be another fresh coat of white paint. And all of the downstairs windows have the same trim, so they will all be cohesive in this style. Okay, so we are in our living room, and that same LVT flooring is going to be carried on through here. And you can see these windows, which are one of my favorite parts of the living room. These big, beautiful windows. The 3 windows here, they have that same trim that we were talking about with the overhang and the craftsman style. That's throughout all of the windows in the entire house, so that's in here. And over here we are going to have a sectional for our couch. So we're going to have the long side of the sectional run this way along this long solid wall, and then we're going to have it L-shaped this way to kind of cut the room this way, and the shorter side will be here. We will not have any coffee tables at the moment. That's just because this is basically going to be the girls' play area, the area they spend the most time in, and we just wanted it to be the least accident prone as possible. So we will have a big circular comfy ottoman that we are going to double as a coffee table with one of those decorative trays when we need it, and that way we can remove it easily and it's still safe and not something that we have to worry about with the girls when they play in here. So that's going to be here. I'll insert a picture of that we chose. We got that from a local furniture store, and I'm very excited about that. Our furniture, some of it will be new, and that's just because some of the furniture we've had, actually all of the furniture that we currently have is all had for a decade or more. So we thought it was time, new house, to buy a couple new pieces just to kind of spruce it up and make some functional changes. Some of the things have been worn out. And then the fireplace is going to be floor to ceiling stone, and we ordered a white stone, and it's going to be ledge style, which means it's like thin rectangles, and they're going to be stacked all the way up. I'll insert a picture of kind of what it's going to look like. And then we're going to have a stressed wood mantle going in here, and I purposely did not want to put our TV. This was a very common question, does the TV go over the mantle? And I've seen that many times in homes, this style, and I completely get it. Functionally, it is the best space for it, but I could not give up my mantle. I am so excited to have a mantle, to be able to decorate it at all occasions. So I said that I wanted to keep that clear, so our TV is not going above the mantle. Our TV is actually going to go in this corner, and in our current house we kind of have the same situation where we have a corner mounted TV that kind of tucks in. So the TV is going to go about here. This is where the plugs go, and then the TV itself will be up here. It'll be on an arm so we can pull it out and angle it so that we can watch it when we like. Like I said, the couch is here, so we should be able to see it pretty well, and then we can angle it so you can see it from the kitchen, because you know, if you're watching football games, go Bills, you need to be able to see them from the kitchen while you're snacking, and then we can always just push it away when we don't need it and when we have, you know, guests or the girls are playing or whatever. So I thought that was the best place, the second best place in this space for the TV, and still preserving the mantle space, which was very important to me. So that's kind of the lay of this room. I don't have too much going on in terms of furniture, and that's, like I said, because it's really going to be the girls' playroom for the next couple years, and then as they get older, you know, that can change, and maybe we can get some cute furniture and decorative items back again. But anyone who has little ones knows that that's just not your life in the beginning when they're little. So that's okay, and now let's move on to another room. Okay, so now a couple updates in the kitchen. Last week we did not have all of the kitchen cabinets doors on, but now we do. So you can see we have these nice big doors, which I am so excited about. They're tall, which leaves a lot of space in the cabinets for us. My husband and I are definitely not tall, so we're gonna have to get stools, but I love that I can store up and really put some of the things that we don't need or use as much at the top. The doors are all slow close in the entire kitchen, from the drawers to the cabinet doors, and that's because we have 2 little kids, and that can be a lot of pinched fingers, I think. The style of cabinets that we went with is called a shaker style. It's that craftsman style where it has those clean lines and kind of like sharper, crisper edges, and they're all white. And we went with what's called a 1/2 inch overlay, which means that the doors, while they do come and connect in the middle here, there is a little bit of space. This is a 1/2 inch space you can see in between them and the corners, and that's one of the styles. You can get a full overlay and have it kind of go from side to side, but as you can imagine, with home building, every upgrade is more expensive, and that was one of the more expensive upgrades that we decided to pass on. But I like how this looks a lot, and this style of cabinet is the same kind of style that you're going to see in all of our interior doors. So this shaker style cabinet is going to be consistent throughout the whole house, which I really, really like. And you can see it's on the upper cabinets, the lowers, and it also includes the island. Okay, so now we are in the mudroom, and I will insert a clip after this to show you kind of the sketch of what it's going to look like. But just to help you visualize, we are going to be having a bench running about 18 inches off the wall out here, and that's somewhere that we're creating a little drop zone here so that the girls and any guests, and us included, can all sit and take off our shoes and coats and things. So we are going to have 6 hooks equally spaced out here on the wall. That's going to be eventually for the girls' backpacks. I can't even imagine thinking about them in school, but that will be one day. Their backpacks, their jackets, and then we're going to have 2 cubbies up top, and that's where I can put like their winter hats and gloves and things like that. And knowing me, also some decorative things. So we're going to have a drop zone here. And then on this opposite wall, we are going to have it kind of mirrored, but in a smaller way. So we are also going to have a bench coming out. It's going to be shorter. And this is kind of mom and dad's drop zone. So it's going to be for Grant and I to use. So there's just going to be a smaller bench and just 2 spaced out hooks, one for each of us, and then one kind of larger cubby. That's for the 2 of us to use to put any of our things in, and of course, decorative items. I mentioned before that this room's going to be white shiplap, so I love that. The floor is still that same LVT flooring coming through here. And I have been dreaming of getting this calendar, and I can insert a picture of that also so you can see what my goal is here, but having like a family calendar here and kind of making it a command center so that everyone knows as they come in the door what we're doing that week, what we have going on, our schedule, things like that. And that really resonates with me. And I think it's going to help keep our family organized and on time. So that's going to be what's going here on this wall. And then of course behind me we have our half bath and our walk-in pantry. Okay, so back to the kitchen. I know we're kind of all over the place in the house, but I think it keeps it exciting. This is our double island. I'm so excited about all the space that's going to be here. I feel like the island is the center of the kitchen and almost the center of the house. When we have people over, often they tend to congregate at the island, first in the kitchen, and then certainly if you have an island space, they love congregating at the island where the snacks and the drinks are. So I definitely wanted to make this a large welcome space for people. I love hosting, I love entertaining, and down the road when my girls are in school, I envision them sitting here and doing their homework, and I can be cooking and prepping behind them and still being able to help them and interact with them. So I just love that. I can envision so many sweet memories happening here at this island. It will have a 12-inch overhang, so it will come out about here, and then we are going to have 4 stools at the island, and I'll insert a picture of that here so you can see what the stool choices are going to be. All of the counters are a white quartz counter. It only has a subtle line going through it. I wanted it to be pretty neutral and white looking, kind of to go with the rest of the theme here, so you'll see that. And then moving into the dining room, we are going to have a kind of statement chandelier hanging from the ceiling, and that's because we have such a large cathedral ceiling. I really wanted something to make a statement and to fill up the space, so I will insert a picture of that so you can see our lighting choice there. And underneath, we are going to have our dining room table that we already own, and it's going to go horizontal in the space. And we have 6 chairs that go with it. The table is actually my parents' dining room table. They passed it on to us so that we can start hosting more events. That was something that they did earlier in their years, but now, it's kind of our turn to start hosting, and I love that. So now we have this special table. It has a leaf on each end that pulls out, and I believe you can seat about 10 or 12 with the leaves out. So that's many a Friendsgiving and holiday I can imagine here. So we will have that table here, and we ended up just getting some new chairs and some more chairs to go with it. So that's why we'll now have 6 seats for that so that we can all sit at the table together. Okay, the last room in our downstairs design tour is the office. I like to refer to it as my office. Grant likes to refer to it as his office. We will make a compromise and settle and call it my office. So we are going to have an accent light hanging here, kind of like a pendant light. So I'm excited about that, just to kind of give it a little character to this space. Like I had mentioned before, we wanted the living room to be as big as possible, so we ended up actually widening that by 1 foot and taking 1 foot off of the office in order to make that big enough. So this room is slightly smaller than it was originally going to be, so that's okay. We thought that was fine for what we need, which is just really a desk and a place to keep some things. We just want to make it as big feeling as possible, so that's why we're going to have the 2 glass French doors when you enter, the accent pendant. It has 2 windows, which, as you can see from all the filming, provides a lot of light. It's not great for filming videos because the light kind of messes with it, but it is great for being in here. The natural light in this house is amazing. About where I'm standing is going to be where the desk is, and then we were thinking of doing some kind of bookshelf maybe in the corner here. I have been on the hunt for a good desk. If you know of any, you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment box. I'd love to hear from it. I like the ones on Pottery Barn, but if you've looked on their site before, you know that they are uber expensive. So something like that, but maybe a more reasonable price would be great. So let me know if you know of any places we can check that out. I mentioned before that one of Grant's first projects in the house is going to be a board and batten accent wall as this back wall, and we're going to be painting it a darker shade of gray. Just again, something to spruce up the space. So you'll have to follow me on Instagram at Basically Baker to see that process come through. I cannot wait. And then this room right now is kind of the catch-all for some of the things. You can see we have some trim in here, but more excitingly, there's also some of the tile in here that they'll be using upstairs. So here's a sneak peek of next week's video. This will be our shower, our master shower floor tile. It is the hexagon shape and it's white, and it's the small hexagons. And then there's more of our flooring here. And then over here, you can see this black. It looks almost like a dark gray, but it's actually a black and white tile. This is the bathroom tile that's going to be in our master bathroom. So I'm very excited about that. And they've already started putting some of it in, so you'll have to make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss next week's video to see what this looks like all finished. And we are doing a dark grout to go with it to really accent it. And then in here, which you can't really see, but it is a white subway tile, which is going to be in the upstairs master bathroom. So that's kind of what some of these things are. I can't wait to see them all up. I'm hoping by next week they will be. So you'll have to make sure you check that out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. You'll have to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss next week's video, where we will be showing you the tile that was put in upstairs and a lot more changes. Things are happening pretty rapidly here at the house, and I'm really excited about the progress. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Basically Baker to see more behind the scenes footage, and I'll see you in next week's video.
Howdy, Grant here. Basement time.
I hope you enjoyed today's video.
And that's a wrap.